to tonight's recap of X Factor. It's been a while.
Yeah, what's the X Factor?
I don't know. What is this show? So...
I don't think anyone's watching it except us.
I don't know, but Mario finally decided not to phone it in this week. He put on the tie and the jacket.
All right. Each judge is cutting one, and then and they're letting one performer go from their group.
Okay.
Or their category.
Well, one act from each category.
Okay. So Demi was up first with the girls, or as I wrote, the grills.
Yes, the grills. So first up,
yeah,
was Alona.
She sang a Britney song.
I thought it was a little bit forgettable.
She did have a really cute outfit, though.
Yeah. The thing is,
the
though,
high-waisted leather shorts.
It didn't seem special, you know? It was kind of run-of-the-mill.
It was very generic.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah. And then Danny was up next, you know, Glasses Girl.
I like books.
She sang a Miley song, which was okay, but...
The thing is, though, as much as, like, I'm not a Miley fan, Miley sings the hell out of Wrecking Ball. It's very raw, there's a lot of emotion there, and I didn't feel that from Danny.
I don't think Danny has a very vibrant personality either.
I mean, she's really young,
and
so...
It's more than just singing ability on the show. It's more about the backstory and the personality, because that's what sells records.
Yeah, and if you notice, this week they didn't show backstory, montage, packages, whatever.
They didn't have time.
Yeah, so you didn't get that element.
Right. Then Ryan was up next, and she sang a Demi song. She sang Skyscraper, which Demi was, like, squealing with delight in her little seat.
I really wanted to love this, but I have to say, I think it was a bad choice for her.
It wasn't that good.
It seemed like she was struggling between her, like, full voice and her falsetto.
Right.
And it just...
That's a common problem when you get stuck in between those two voices. Mm-hmm. So that was unfortunate. Kaya closed out that group with Mercy.
Yeah.
She needed 2 hairstyles for that outfit.
They either needed to pull that camera back in or pull that dress down.
She did have the best performance, though, out of that
love
category.
Her voice. I think she's
very
the strongest one in the girls' group.
So Demi had to get rid of one, and she got rid of Danny. She had to. I mean, that was the least of her worries.
Yes.
All right. Paulina up next with the boys.
So Josh started things off. He's the youngest one in the whole competition, right?
I think so.
And he sang Only Girl in the World by Rihanna, but, you know, changed some words so they worked.
It was kind of weak. Like a weak fart.
He had the whole, like, dance thing going, so there was that whole performance element.
He couldn't sustain his vocal, though, with the whole performance. It was flat.
It was.
Carlos was up next. He's my favorite, I think, out of this category. He sang a Swedish House Mafia song. Don't you worry, child.
Okay, he did something that is huge on X Factor.
Yes.
He took, like, a pop kind of song, pop, electronic, whatever.
It's not huge, it's expected.
And he made it into a ballad. But this one did not work.
It didn't translate. It was a really bad arrangement. But we love him.
Yeah,
he's great.
But I found myself really disagreeing with the judges a lot tonight. I felt like I was taking crazy pills.
Yeah.
And this was one of those cases. I thought, I'm sorry, but this was like one of his worst performances ever that I've seen.
I thought we fell through the rabbit hole. What was good was bad. What was bad was good.
Yeah, and they were like, oh my God, it was so amazing. Maybe something was lost in translation.
I don't know, but he does really have a great distinctive voice and style. But this didn't showcase it at all.
Maybe he's just like, you could feel the energy when you're there in person, but to me, it did not work.
Yeah. Well, Carlito was up next, and he sang a Santana song that I absolutely do not like.
Maria?
Yeah. And I thought it was horrible. And the judges were like, oh my God, if you were the only one I could sign, I would sign you.
Yeah, I just think it's ironic how he was saying last week or last time how there weren't any, like, Spanish speaking performers in the industry, and he's finding all these songs to perform
in Spanish that were, you know,
so I think that's kind of yeah.
Then it was embarrassing after that because Tim was up as the final one in his category.
Paulina was going to introduce him. She was like,
Tim,
he's great.
He's getting better by the moment.
What?
She forgot his name.
I don't think she really cares about him, and that's really sad.
And he got up there and belted out a fantastic ballad. And even Simon was like, oh, I feel like I was at a funeral, and the funeral director started singing.
Are you kidding me?
He was the best of the bunch.
I'm sorry.
He was best in show
he
for
didn't
his
do
category.
a pop number. I thought, yeah, he definitely has the best vocal ability in that group.
Right. So she did the only thing she could do. She said, goodbye, Josh. Goodbye, Josh.
He's too young.
He is. He needs to develop more.
He could be good, but he needs to work on the control and the power.
Yeah. I almost, had a heart attack when Simon was like, whoa, if you want to be like Michael Jackson, you got a long way to go.
Yeah, no offense, but I don't think so.
Right. So now it's Kelly's turn.
I know I say this every week, but I just think it's so ridiculous how this category begins at 25.
It should start at,
and that's like
30.
The old people.
And that's even pushing it. All right, so Lily was up first. She has always been at the forefront of this show this season.
I was surprised that she was going first for her group.
Right. Well, I wasn't too surprised when she started singing because she belted out When a Man Loves a Woman. It wasn't bad. It was just really disappointing. I
don't know if maybe we're spoiled now from her previous performances and our expectations were too high or what, but I was expecting her to blow the roof off of the place, and it just...
She didn't have a moment.
Yeah.
It was... I think the arrangement was kind of bad, too. I didn't like the whole, just the guitar. Was it guitar? I don't know.
I remember she had those two dancers.
Oh, the two dancers sliding around on the silk sheets. That was kind of weird. Yeah, she wasn't the one with the guitar. But it was definitely stripped down, and it was...
Not her best.
No. But she is very, very talented.
That's the difficult part, because somebody has a bum performance, but then they're amazing. Yeah. What do you do?
Exactly. Well, you do what they do. Jeff was up next. He sang a Pink song.
It wasn't bad. It was okay. I thought it translated well to his kind of rocker style.
It's probably the best I've seen him.
Yeah.
And I didn't appreciate him whoring out his kid, though.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a 5-year-old out there.
Really? Because there are other people on the show that have kids.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't see Lily say, my grandkids, they want to go to Disney World.
Or James. But we'll get to James. Next up was Rachel, and she sang I Hope You Dance.
She sang it country style.
Well, isn't it originally a country song?
It could be.
Isn't it Dolly Parton?
Might be. Okay. But it was great. She sounded amazing.
Yeah.
She did a spot-on performance.
I thought she was the best in her group tonight.
Yes, I agree with that. She was great, and she looks like Britney.
She definitely redeemed herself from her last performance.
She was sick last time.
I'm just saying it wasn't good.
She was sick. Doesn't anybody understand?
I understand. I'm just saying she redeemed herself.
All right, well, Simon did, and he was like, you were horrible last time. She was sick.
All right. Last but not least, in the over 25s.
He fixes toilets,
That's the only thing he does. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna be yawning.
James. He has a great, distinctive voice.
Yes, he sounds polished.
He does.
A lot of people on this show, we cannot understand what they're saying when they're singing.
And he was really good. So I was thinking the whole time, oh my God, it's going to come down to Jeff and James.
That's what I thought too.
But it didn't.
It was down to Lily and James. And then I was like, well, there's no way she's sending Lily home.
No.
She didn't.
I can't believe that she kept Jeff because... he's had weeks and weeks and weeks to practice this Pink song. I don't think next week's performance is going to be that good.
I don't know. I think him being on the show before really is playing into this because they're like, oh, he wants it so badly. He works so hard for it. But I don't
His audition for this season wasn't that great, so I was surprised that they kept him. But
I don't agree with this decision. I think
this
James
was the only one that I didn't agree with. So, yeah.
All right.
Well, actually, no, that's not true. This was one of the ones that I didn't agree with.
All right, so moving on to Simon and the groups.
Roxy Montana went first, and they sang that Royals song.
Royals song, a.k.a. Royals.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed
really
this. To be honest, our DVR freaked out halfway through the song, so we missed a little bit of it.
We missed, like, the last 20 seconds.
All right. What we saw, we really liked. So unless something crazy happened at the end of it, I thought they did a really good job.
They came a long way, because on their original audition, they were
Mm-hmm.
but they were really good. They were polished. They got all haircuts and everything.
They sounded great, too.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's visual, too. Half of it's visual. Sweet Suspense was up next, and they sang, I Don't Care.
Icona
It's
Pop.
Kids Bop.
I don't think that this was a good choice for a singing competition.
Right.
Because that is like a shouty song. You're not really singing that.
But it's a catchy song. It's a popular song.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. They're not really showing off their vocal abilities with this song, but they're showing off
their commercial abilities, which is kind of just as important if you're Simon.
But sound-wise, I thought this kind of sounded like Kids Bop, like you said.
Yeah. Well, up next was Alex and Sierra. I have to say, these guys are my favorite out of the whole competition.
Yeah, I think they're my favorite in the competition.
And they sang a Robin Thicke song. You know the one, kids.
You know you want it.
Woo! Yeah.
It was really good.
Very, very good choice.
And then
very,
it got
very
uncomfortable
good performance.
when people started talking.
Yes.
Simon was like, you guys have great sexual chemistry. And so do I. We don't want to know. He keeps, like, interjecting with this, like, awkward personal stuff. We know. You're an adulterer. Whatever.
You're having a bastard baby. We know. All right, so he had beyond money eyes when they were performing.
We always talk about Simon's money eyes, but they went beyond this week.
His eyes were rolling back in his head. There was so much money there. I think he should have been wearing a diaper if he wasn't, because it looked like he downloaded in his pants during that performance.
We're going to call the new eyes calculator eyes, or calculator face.
Calculator eyes.
Okay.
So Paulina was quite equally as weird too when she said, "You guys are like Bono and Cher."
What?
I think she meant Sonny and Cher.
I think so.
Sonny Bono.
Unless
Sonny
Bono and Cher have a new.
I was like, Bono and
together.
Cher. They do something together?
I don't know.
All right. So then up last was Restless Road. And they sang Roar.
I was not expecting this. I thought they were going to do a country song for sure, but they kind of made it into a country thing.
It wasn't their best.
But it was really good.
It was really good.
Because their best is amazing.
Exactly.
And I don't even like country music.
Yeah, I like these guys though. They not as much as Alex and Sierra, but I really like these guys.
I think they really have a chance to win.
Yes. And Simon had the calculator eyes.
He was like clapping, but then he had like this sideways glance where he's like...
He stood up, gave them a standing ovation. His diaper fell down because it was full. Yes.
Okay. So it was decision time, and Simon was having a really difficult time. He let Restless Road go through, obviously, and then Alex and Sierra. So it came down to Roxy Montana and Sweet Suspense. And he was like, oh, I can't do it. Ah!
I think that was all just a ploy. He knew exactly who he was sending home. All he had to do was take one look at that tweet board and see that Roxy Montana only had 5% of the tweets.
I was really shocked.
I was shocked, too. Even though they were better than Sweet Suspense, tweets mean everything. Tweets are everything. Yep. So that is like the new thing.
I think it's been around for a while.
No, but I mean, it's everywhere now.
Social media.
I mean, tweets talk.
Well,
people listen.
Simon listened, and Roxy Montana was sent home.
So there you have it. That is your top 3 times 4, 12.
Imagine that.
No, wait. Top 9. No.
Just Paulina. Okay.
Got it. Top 12.
Next time.
Next time's the live show, so I don't know what day of the week it is, though.
Apparently this was live, too, but...
It didn't seem like it.
But then they had the tweets, so it had to be.
Yeah, I guess it had to be live.
Unless they lied.
Well, no, I guess it was live. But anyhow, I don't know what day of the week it is next week. I think they only did it on a Tuesday this time because of the...
baseball.
Yeah.
We'll see.
The Super Bowl of baseball. So if you know what day it is next week, please leave it in the comments. And I guess we'll see you then. Till next time. Much love.